Once again, here we are with a weekly recap of questions from inside the Big Tire Garage. Remember, ask a question, get some stickers, I answer them here, blah, blah, blah. I think you figured it out by now. So, this week, 3 questions. Question number 1 is from neverenough_K5. That's kind of a fun name. I really enjoy the Q&A. Thanks. You were a shop teacher, right? How do you go from being a shop teacher to a guy with a TV show? Well, so this story has been told many, many times on many, many podcasts, so I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version for this particular Q&A. So, yes, I was a shop teacher in Canada. I taught at a high school, SFDCI, Smiths Falls District Collegiate Institute, where I taught auto shop and manufacturing shop as well, so transportation technology and manufacturing technology, which is the fancy way of saying I taught auto shop and welding at that high school. How did I end up on TV? Well, basically what happened was I applied on the internet. That's the short form of the story. So I applied on the internet for a job posting as part of PowerBlock, and they were looking for the next big wrench, is what the ad said. I had previously done an episode of Monster Garage, and the production team there was able to put me sort of like in connection with the actual production team at PowerBlock, which was super great. So they were able to sort of like work some backdoors to at least get me the right person to get my resume to. I flew down, did a screen test, thought there's no way they're gonna bring me all the way from Canada to do this off-road show. And literally 2 weeks later, I was helping to create the first ever 4-wheel drive show to ever air on any network ever. It has been a wild ride. Like I said before, I never thought I'd be doing it this long. I really didn't. I thought I'd only be down in the States for a couple of years and then back up in Canada, finishing out my teaching career, but has just grown and grown and grown and grown and grown from there. I think that's probably the shortest version of that story I could tell. I could honestly go on for hours and hours and hours on all the things that sort of led me to where I am today, but that was it. Another sort of fly-off question I get a lot is, do I think being a shop teacher helps me in this world? And absolutely it does. You know, I taught high school auto shop and welding shop for so long that I basically understand how to write curriculum, how to plan a lesson, and that's basically what I do on these TV shows. I just basically plan the lesson, plan curriculum, create TV show. Similar thing, and that's why I think the transition for me was so easy to go from high school teacher to TV guy. And that's it. That's pretty much the shortest version of that story I've ever told. But yes, thank you very much. And we'll get your sticker pack out in the mail. If you want to hear the long version, I'll put some links to some podcasts down in the notes, and you can listen to the long, drawn out version of everything I've done. So, next question. Ed Kilday, question for next week. Hi, Ian. You mentioned working on your projects and running the shop is a one-man show. You, for some reason, one-man show. For some reason, a lot of us prefer to be the only one who turns wrenches on our rigs. Do you choose to work alone? And if so, what are the pros and cons for you? Great vids and many thanks. So, yes, I prefer to work in the shop alone. I don't mind having people in the shop. When working with groups of people, I think that's fine. I'm kind of used to having just a bunch of people around filming me when I work in the shop. I like to work on my rigs, be the main person who does the majority of the work on my rigs, because at the end of the day, when you're out on the trail, I just think it helps out when something happens, then you know exactly what you did to that rig. So you know every nut, every bolt, every wire, everything. I think that's the biggest difference. So like if on a streetcar or a hot rod, you know how it works. If you build a streetcar or a hot rod, if it breaks down, it's pretty simple. You call a tow truck, the tow truck comes, picks it up, takes it to either back to your house or to a shop, and you can fix it, or you can have whoever built it for you fix it for you. When you're talking about an off-road rig, if you're out in the middle of nowhere wheeling and something breaks, well, you better know how to fix it or you're not getting home. And so I find that being the person who's built every single part of the rig, then you kind of know that rig top to bottom. I also this is my favorite part of the job. You know, I think that I love just working in the shop. I've always been a shop monkey. You know, that's just sort of been my life. Even when I was a teenager, my dad had built a little shop behind our house that I kind of commandeered and made it into my own little sort of like fab shop. And that was the fun place where me and my friends from high school used to go and hang out. We used to sit back there and work on our Volkswagens. You know, my friend would bring his car over, we'd work on it. It was just where we worked. It was a place that we hung out and had fun. And this really is my happy places, in a shop, just working. So to be the only person that works on the rigs, that just comes natural to me. So it's not that I'm against having someone in my shop, but I prefer to do all the work on my rig, and it just makes me happy to do all the work on the rig. I also find that, especially in a shop like this, 9 times out of 10, you want to bring somebody in to work with you, you're going to spend just as much time showing them where all the tools are, showing them how you want it done, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's just faster to do it yourself. And it is kind of, I think that a lot of people are like that. I think it's just for them, it's either they work in the shop as basically either a de-stress or a decompression or whatever reason they choose to work in a shop alone. I think that's just what people do. Everyone, guys, girls, everybody likes to sometimes just spend some time just up to their elbows in grease, just working. And sometimes it just ends up being in a shop, and that's just how it is. So yes, that's why I like working in the shop. And I know I don't get burned out because it's my favorite place to be. Question number 3, and this is from, this is a long name, OGOB Racing Rock Crawling. Are you going to Trail Hero? So I never went to Trail Hero because of scheduling conflicts in the past. It was always too close to one of our biggest off-road shows of the year, which was Pomona Off-Road Expo. And so I could never sort of time it right to go to Trail Hero. Last year was the first time I ever went to Trail Hero because of the fact that my friends at Miracle Truss that helped me build this building, they invited me out there because they were hosting a trail ride and they wanted me to lead it, and so I went out and I did that. So, Trail Hero. It was a fun event. It's in Sand Hollow. It's a fun place to go four-wheeling. Will I be back this year? No, I will not be going to Trail Hero this year. We had talked about going to Trail Hero. We kind of threw about the idea of maybe taking the bomber car when it's done for our last episode of Four Wheeler and filming an entire episode of Four Wheeler out there. Unfortunately, the promoter denied our film permit, so we cannot film. And if I can't film, I can't go. So we will not be at Trail Hero this year. The bomber won't be at Trail Hero this year. And now, unfortunately, the Off-Road Expo has fired back up back in Ontario, California, right where it was before, scheduling-wise. So there's probably a good chance that I'll probably never go back to Trail Hero. I'll be back in that loophole of scheduling just won't work out. And if it comes to the two options of Off-Road Expo in Pomona or Trail Hero, I'm going to choose Off-Road Expo every time. I just think it's an amazing event and I like it a lot. I don't dislike Trail Hero. I don't dislike Sand Hollow. It's not my favorite kind of wheeling. I like wheeling in Sand Hollow once. I like wheeling in Moab every year. I feel like I went to Sand Hollow now 2 or 3 times, and I feel like I've done every trail that I can do there because I'm not into that whole trail breaker, 4-wheel steer, rock buggy kind of rock crawling. That's not my idea of trail riding. Trail riding is like a destination, top of the world trail in Moab, or the Sand Mines trail, or Ultimate Adventure. It's about the whole experience, not just, hey, I made it over this one rock. There's lots of guys out there who love that type of thing, which is fine. I think that's great. Whatever floats your boat. For me, that's not my favorite type of four-wheeling. So it seems like everyone here at Trail Hero, every time you get to the end of the trail, you look around and the view's the same. It's like, oh, there's the reservoir. And then you go run another trail and you come up and you're like, oh, there's a reservoir. So to me, I feel like I've done Sand Hollow enough that I think I probably won't go back, at least for another 5-10 years before I'm back in Sand Hollow, to be honest with you. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much. Hopefully hopefully it did. I answered 3 of your questions. Answer 3 of your questions. I'll send you the notes to get me your mailing address to get the sticker packs out. And once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us here in the Big Tire Garage for these Q&A sessions. Ask your questions in the comment sections. And who knows, if I pick your question, you'll get some stickers, and do all those YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, or ask you to comment. So like, comment again, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that kind of stuff that you're supposed to do here on YouTube. I'm told I'm supposed to say that stuff. So there you go. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time here in the Big Tire Garage.